Right, let's run through where we are because I haven't put a video on for a while. Shop dog's bothering me, so we'll see what happens, see if she bothers me too much. Final build before strip down and powder coating and painting. So we'll start from the back and work forward. In fact, yeah, so they're all eBay specials really. Indicators and brake lights in there and side light. Seats, a Chinese one which is pretty good. Work we've done. Rear mudguard has been now cut down so that it makes a nice little smaller skinny rear mudguard to stop crap going on. Shock absorber, which is another, this one's cleaning up obviously. All of this wants clean up and repaint, and the bike's not staying this. This is R6 rear shock absorber. I've welded some big plates in here because it's obviously bolts in a different place. Frenched in the bolt, which is here, you can see. And then this has got a massive, I don't know if you can see if I put my hand there, it's got a massive plate down there. When I strip it down I'm going to weld it at the bottom as well, so there's a big plate in there because you're putting a lot of stress on that with this shock absorber. But that's R6 shock absorber. One of the reasons we put it on is because these pivot points are a pain in the neck. They're seizing, they're metal in metal, and they're a pain. So that's ended up cutting it out and ended up changing the shock absorber. Not what I wanted to, but there you go, that's what it is. Exhaust. What I've done with this is I've had to bend it a little bit more in to miss this mudguard, but also bring it out a little bit at the bottom to miss the battery box. So this is the battery box here, and I'll show you around to the side in a bit. Exhausts, cut these down, weld them a bit more, but they're nice zoomies actually, I like them. The rear pegs have been modified, and the brake pedal. So that's how. So it's using this bit here onwards is all standard. This is what we've had to modify now. This is obviously pretty basic because it's got to be all modified and tidied up and everything. But just to get the information or the where to do things. Brake switch is mounted there as well. These are all going to get black, gloss black. So they should hopefully mould in pretty good. Move the mounting to here for exhaust and bolted it together there. So I put an extra bracket in because it didn't have anything in. This was just free floating, so that's not very good. Brake light switch earth, and that's about it really on this side. There's not a lot other than that on this side of the engine anyway. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how that's come out. The wheel's the standard wheel. Now we've got this is the cover for the battery box, so that's got your voltage regulator on there. The starter motor's here, the starter solenoid is here. The holes are for cable ties, so when I eventually do it completely, it'll have a cable tie across here to stop it coming off, because I think it'll work its way off. You can see the exhaust bit there, how close it gets. Comes up here. This is an earth battery which I'm going to change. I don't like it there. I don't want to see anything really. This has been obviously modified again. I don't know how this is going to look. I might end up putting some different stuff on for rear sets, but at the moment this is what I've done with it, and it looks alright, works alright. So we'll see how that looks when it's done. Going up further, put a tube in here. This is where the wiring loom now from all of this lot here comes up. It's going to come up behind the engine. You're not going to see any of this. Through the back of there, and then up through this tube passing the exhaust, because we don't want it getting warm, wiring loom past exhaust, and then into the frame, up the frame, and into the computer at the top there, which I'm going to show you in a bit. Down here nothing's changed. Fuel tank is an eBay special, about 35 quid I think that was, painted, so that's good. This wiring loom here is going to be all hidden inside the tube that the seat's on, so you'll see all that when it happens. I'll take that off, so it's mounted like that. and I'll show you when I take the tank off how we've had to strengthen the frame up to take it. Up front, these are off another eBay special. I wanted some that had got choke on, so they had. They're not very, the paint on them comes off pretty easy, so I don't know, I might scrub it all off, because you know where your switches are, don't you? You don't need to see them. R1 front end, R1 steering stock that's been lengthened, which I'll show you that later, which you see it on eBay, on YouTube. You go on YouTube, they all show you how to, there's loads of them showing you how to lengthen the R1 steering to make it fit the Virago 750, which this is. Another eBay special, so that's off eBay. These are going to get changed, they're standard at the moment. R1 standard front brake with the fluid reservoir. That's off a Jeep, believe it or not. So this is off a Jeep. It's quite a nice headlamp. I think it'll look nice when it's on and all up and running. Brackets made for that, and then fixed at the front and at the back here. These bolts aren't staying, they're just for while I'm messing with it. But that's how I've mounted it, because it's got to be in line with tank. So the headlamp can't be higher or lower than the tank, it's got to be in line with it, else it looks daft. Front mudguard again, shortened down, cut here, shortened down, and brackets made to fit the R1 out of steel. Then we're round to pickups for the speed sensor, which are there. Now you need to use stainless steel or aluminium to mount these. You can't use ferrous plates, in other words you can't use stuff with metal in. Put a magnet to them, you'll find out. If magnet sticks, then you can't use it. If magnet doesn't stick, then you can use it. And obviously this picks up from these here. So now I'm just going to take the tank off and show you it rest at bike when it's all lit up. In fact I might... Right, so the dashboard, let's put some power to it, there we go. Japanese. So, but once you get around the wiring, it's pretty easy going. There's no fuel tank sender unit, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might either earth it out or do whatever, we'll sort it out. Yeah, this is the wiring, so it's all now done through this Mo unit, Mo Blue. It might look a mess, but it's a lot easier than trying to rewire or hide all the original wiring. We're still using the charge and ignition unit and everything, but it is a lot easier than trying to wire up the whole bike. But that's where we are now, and hopefully I'll give you some more videos building it back up when it's all been done. But now it's stripped down there, I'm going to start stripping it down and make sure I label up everything and get it off to powder coaters and painters.